For those of you who are uninitiated, I spend a great deal of time talking about how to build a writing career and make money on the website medium.com. I've created several different videos on aspects of how the platform works, and today I'm going to talk about one of the most hotly debated, mysterious, and crucially important variables to being successful on Medium. And that variable is called curation. In today's video, I'm going to walk through 3 different tips to help get your articles curated more often. I'm going to explain what curation is for those of you who are uninitiated to the process. So if you're watching this video and you want to learn how to build a better writing career, you want to learn how to make more money, you want to increase your writing skills, I'm going to cover all of that through the lens of the website medium.com, and specifically this idea of getting your articles curated. So what is curation? Curation is the process of editors at Medium selecting your article for further distribution. So each time you submit an article and you publish it on Medium, you get put through a review process, and it's going to come across one of the editors at Medium. Now, the editors have 2 choices. Either they can accept your article for curation, which means they're going to distribute it to different topics. So let's say that you write a self-improvement article and it gets curated under the label self. That then is going to put your article in front of the eyeballs of people who are interested in self-improvement types of content. Let's say that you are curated in relationships. You're going to get put in front of people who are interested in content about relationships, So what curation does is it basically tells the editors, or the editors say, mind you, that they like your article, they think it's high quality, they're going to distribute it underneath a certain topic, and they're going to put it out onto the feed of people who are interested in that topic. And especially for writers who don't have a big following on Medium yet, curation is going to be an important aspect of your success on Medium. It isn't the end-all be-all, and as you grow your profile, it will be easier to get more views regardless of whether or not you get curated. Not all of my articles get curated. I don't even know my curation rate. I don't pay a ton of attention to it because I get curated often enough. But again, for those who are just starting, curation is going to be very important to you. So how do you get your articles curated? How do you avoid the mythical curation jail, which is basically a term people came up with for, if you don't get your article curated a certain amount of times, you're in curation jail, meaning the curators will never look at your stuff again. It's not true, but it's a prevalent myth in the community. So let's dive in. Let's talk about some tips that'll help you get your articles curated. Tip number 1, pay very close attention. I should maybe move closer to the camera when I tell you this tip. Tip number 1 for getting your articles curated is the number 1 writing tip I give to brand new aspiring writers in general in almost every single video that I talk about writing in. Your articles are not going to be curated if you write and publish esoteric, idiosyncratic, random, personal journal style entries of your life, vomiting the words onto the page. I feel like I have to hammer this home every single time I make a video about writing, because aspiring writers, they just have this sort of mental defect where they think they can write anything that they want and it should get curated, it should get a bunch of views, this and that. So, I have this hobby where I go into Facebook groups for aspiring writers and I kind of just look and see what's going on. And the other day I saw this woman, she was complaining that her articles weren't getting curated, that she was making little to no money on Medium, complain. So I went to go, out of curiosity, I went to go check out her profile. And I was about 99% certain I knew what I was going to find before I got there, and I found exactly what I was expecting to find. Her profile was filled with the most random articles I've ever seen in my entire life. The titles were nonsensical. I had no idea what the article could even be potentially about based on the headline. I went and read some of the posts, and it was basically her just blabbing about her life. No kind of essay structure to post, no point in the post. The posts weren't there to persuade, they weren't there to educate, they weren't even there to tell an entertaining story. They were just there for this woman to vomit her life onto the page, and this is what I see so many writers do. So I come from a traditional blogging background. That is the way that I learned how to write, and that is primarily the way that I teach writing. I use kind of simple frameworks, how-to frameworks, list post frameworks, kind of essay frameworks, things like that. Now, I know that this is not the only style of writing that does well on Medium. I have seen personal narrative type of essays work well. I've seen journalistic content work well. I've seen content, kind of biographical, covering different topics. But the main ingredient of everything that gets curated, even if it's not in the traditional blogging style that I prefer to teach, the common variable in everything I see that gets curated, promoted, distributed, and gets lots of fans is that it's actually interesting. It's actually something people want to read. And I'm sorry if I'm getting a little over emotional, turned up about it, but it's like, dude, you are not going to get curated unless you have high quality writing that also matches the needs and interests of an audience. Now, you can write a 15-minute read level post that can capture the interest of the audience. Actually, a couple weeks ago, one of the most viral articles I ever saw on Medium Online was this gigantically long post kind of talking about coronavirus and how the media and kind of capitalists and big oligarchical companies were going to kind of gaslight you into the recovery. So it was a very in-depth article. It was a political article. It was an article that didn't fit kind of the structure that I teach at all, but it was still interesting. It still hit a nerve. It was talking about the global impacts of coronavirus, not this random author's personal account of their quarantine. You see the difference? So I'm trying to train people into the habit of avoiding the number one mistake that is going to keep you from getting curated, but it's a mistake that's going to keep your writing career dead in the tracks either way. And that's just writing random stories about your life and expecting people to read it. So for the love of the creator of your choice, please stop doing this. The second thing that you can do to get your articles curated is study the articles that are already getting curated and see what works well. So you can't look into the stats dashboard of other people's posts. So when you get your articles curated, it will show up kind of in your own stats dashboard. So you'll see, you'll get an email notification from Medium telling you that your article has been curated, that it's been recommended in topics. So you can't see that kind of data on the other end from other people, but you can make educated guesses to see which articles are doing well. Simple way to do this is, go through popular tags and search who the top writers are and search what the top stories are. So, there's top writer status, meaning that if you get your article, if you get enough views, tagging your article under a certain topic, you'll get top writer status. So if you see someone who's a popular writer who's in your niche, go to their profile, look at their top writer tags, click on one of those tags, and then go to the section that says top articles. Now you will see articles that have almost assuredly been curated because they've gone viral or they've been doing really well. So you can look at these articles and create a process of kind of reverse engineering what they do well. So in some of my courses and some of my programs, I talk more in depth about how this research process works. But becoming a better writer, getting curated, is becoming a student, not just of the platform itself, but of other people's writing. I got much better at writing simply because I would read articles that I really liked, and I would kind of sit there and go, why is this article so appealing to me? Why is it so attractive to me? Is it the headline? Is it the content itself? Is it the quotes they use? Is it the data they use? Is it the way they tell the stories? Is it the way that they seem to get inside of my head and kind of re-articulate what I'm thinking? So I just kind of developed an intuitive process where I would see what other writers were doing, and again, I wouldn't plagiarize. I would reverse engineer techniques, strategies, methods, and I would implement those into my own writing. The main problem I see with too many aspiring writers, they live in their own world, they live in their own heads. They really can't have an outside perspective and be objective about what they're seeing. They can only think about the way they want to write. They think they should get curated no matter what. And honestly, a lot of people who are writing on Medium, you're not getting curated because your writing isn't good enough. If you've only been writing, if your entire history of ever writing articles has only been a month, probably 0% of your articles should get curated. You've only been writing for a month. Why should your articles get curated? You don't know how to write that well, right? Everything in life takes time to learn and be good at and be proficient at. And it kind of baffles me when there's brand new, like fresh, wet behind the ears writers expecting to get curated. Why would you expect that? You shouldn't. You should practice, get better, study what works. Then you get better and you get curated and you get more views. You get a bigger audience. Like if you're just starting out writing right now, you have a long road ahead of you, my friend. You don't know how to write. You're not good at it. You suck at writing. I don't know if anyone's ever told you that, but if you've never written anything before, you're not good at it. So you need to get good at it, and you can get good at it. A lot of people look at me as if I've been good at writing forever. No, I have articles. Maybe I'll find one of those older articles. I can show you examples of my old writing, and it was not good. It sucked. If I were to go back in time and be someone with 1 month's worth of experience, my articles wouldn't have gotten curated. So figure out what works. That's tip number 2. See what's already working for others. Reverse engineer for yourself, and then get better at writing and have some patience. Okay, the last thing you can do is focus on what the curators want to see. So if you visit, there's a publication called 3 Minute Read, and it's basically the editors of Medium telling you what they're looking for in articles. They have different go look at the actual guidelines. It's funny. I bet you if I could put a number on it, probably 80 to 90% of the people who complain about not getting curated haven't read Medium's official curation guidelines. They actually have a section on the website where they tell you things that are more likely to help you get curated. And this is the way of the world. People complain without first going through the proper steps to even figure out what it is they're supposed to be doing in the first place. So go read those guidelines, read those articles. Things that I've heard from, I know a lot of publication owners who deal directly with Medium curators, and some of the things that they're looking for specifically to date that I've heard. One thing I've heard is that if you are going to write a how-to article, they want you to fully explain how to do something. So if you write a how-to article and your explanations are vague and you're not kind of walking people through step by step, they're less likely to curate your article. They are really shying away from fluffy pieces, clickbait, things like that. So how do you still use some of those traditional frameworks? Like for example, I get many listicles that still get curated. One of the things that I've been told is that you want to have a sufficient amount of points. So if you're going to write a list post, 3 points isn't enough. You're probably looking at something like 5 or more. And then you're going to want to thoroughly go through and really have depth and context to each of those points. So if you'll see a listicle from me, it won't be fluffy. It'll be, let's say it'll be, 7, 8, 9, 10 minutes long. Each point will have 300 words underneath it. I'll have quotes, data, links, opinions, real thought out, common sense structure. So I get away with clickbait, so to speak, because I back it up with, insanely good content, because I've spent 5 years learning how to do that, right? So once you practice more, you get the best of both worlds. You can match what the curators are looking for, and you just kind of have to play the game. Right now with Medium, the game is balancing between kind of sensationalism and substance. There is more in-depth content coming on the platform. There is more journalistic content coming on the platform. So you just got to keep with the times and, keep adhering to those standards while practicing and honing your voice at the same time. Like I said, the things that I teach in my videos and my courses, these are things I personally apply in my own writing, and I get curated. And these are recommendations that I know of, that I've heard, that I intuitively know, but I've never spent a conscious effort attempting to get curated. I just know that if I put in the best possible content that I can, odds are I will get curated. So those are 3 tips that'll help you get curated, which will help you get better distribution, which will help you get more views, help you earn more money, and help you build a bigger audience. So take those 3 tips to heart, use them in their writing, write your little heart out, get in that chair today, and you'll start seeing good results. Okay, the next thing I want you to do, if you've made it this far all the way to the end of the video, look down in that description right now, because you're going to see 2 very important resources. The first thing you're going to see is a free 5-day email course that's going to teach you the ins and outs of being successful on Medium. For those of you who are really ready to dive in and get a thorough, in-depth training with yours truly, you can check out the link below to my flagship premium online course that teaches you literally everything I know about writing and being successful on Medium, so check those resources out. There's also a ton of other links that you can check out, things about starting your own WordPress blog, equipment I use, resources, additional blog posts, additional videos, all sorts of good stuff. So make sure to put your eyeballs in the description and check out that amazing stuff. Lastly, make sure to give the video the thumbs up if you liked the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you get brand new videos when they come out. Make sure to leave a comment if you want to see new videos. I will share whatever topics you want me to talk about, so engage with the channel. Some videos are going to be popping up right before your eyes right now. Check those out, and I will see you on the next video.